After a massive month of June for Kirby Smart and the Georgia Bulldogs on the recruiting trail, I think they're going to add several more commitments in the 2025 class in the month of July, heading into August. So this is the time where you want to be updated on Georgia Bulldog recruiting. This is the YouTube channel to be watching for. Dog Post is the place to be. That's where the five-star Georgia fans are. And in today's video, I'm going to be breaking down which Georgia targets are coming off the board, which could be leaning Georgia's way, which may not be leaning Georgia's way, and a quick look on how Georgia's commitment class, right, in the 25 cycle could look heading into the fall. So it's a jam-packed recruiting video, so start taking notes. There's a lot of guys to talk about. But first, since I didn't plug it in my video yesterday, got to talk about collegebronze.com real quick. If you wanted to have the #1 Bulldog statue on the market in front of your house, now's the time to get it. If you wait too much longer, you may not get it for the football season. This is the most detailed, best handcrafted Bulldog statue on the market. Look at this bad boy. Look at this bad boy. He's great. He looks great anywhere. Get yours today with a discount. Promo code DAWGPOST. Don't miss out on the discount. Promo code DAWGPOST. DAWGPOST. Boom. Get your Bulldog today. All right. Now, the first guy I want to talk about is Jalen Morgan. He is a four-star safety from Tennessee, Murfreesboro, Tennessee to be exact, Rockville High School. He's going to be making his decision very soon, actually, July 8th. So that's coming up. Reached out to some sources recently, and one in particular from the state of Tennessee, actually. He said, everything I've heard is Georgia. I'm supposed to get on the phone with him maybe tomorrow. Tomorrow's 4th of July, so maybe not, but maybe on Friday, I'm going to reach out to Jalen Morgan, get him on the phone, talk specifics. But I really like where Georgia sits with him and have for close to 2 weeks now, 6 foot, 190 pounds. Took an official visit to Georgia the weekend of June 21st and started to hear more buzz towards about a week after that. The visit high kind of wore off. Reached out to sources. They said, yeah, Georgia made a big impression. I think they lead over Tennessee, Ole Miss, Mississippi State. Two-way player, wide receiver, defensive back. I think he's a solid safety for Georgia. He's the number 24 safety prospect, the number 252 overall prospect in the country. So solid four-star that I think Georgia is trending in the right direction for. Another four-star safety to keep an eye on, Rashad Johnson, 6'2", 185. He's a thumper. He's a thumper. He will hit you now. He was in Athens for an official visit that weekend of June 14th. Was at Texas A&M after that, but I was told, hey, Georgia still made a big impression. I think Georgia might be the team to beat. He was supposed to commit on July 1st. He has pushed that back to July 14th. He's the number 33 safety prospect in the country, number 360 overall. So will he have a spot in this class at that point? Or will a guy like Lagonza Hayward, who I'm going to talk about in just a second, will he be that other safety? Maybe they try to take both, right? But it does appear, like I've said on Dog Post, you can go read that story for free, actually, over on the website. I think Georgia's trending in the right direction for several defensive backs. Another one, Shamari Earls. Now, there's no commitment date for this young man. He's one of the top cornerback prospects in the country, but that's because he's committed to South Carolina. So he's not going to say, hey, I'm making my second announcement while he's still publicly committed. This guy, I think, will make a final decision at some point this month. Could be next week. It could be Georgia's next commitment, depending on when he wants to maybe make that announcement. But I think he's not going to end up at South Carolina. I think it's going to be Georgia or Michigan. But he's a really good player. 6'2", 205, runs at 10.8 in the 100-meter. This guy has size. He's got ball skills. He can run. That's what Georgia's looking for. So he may be on the heavier side, for the average cornerback that's on Georgia's roster. But he can run, and he can also make plays at wide receiver. He caught 30 passes on offense for 720 yards and 8 touchdowns. Defensively, only 25 tackles. That's because no one tried to go his way. 3 interceptions. He's the number 12 cornerback prospect, the number 105 prospect overall. Wouldn't surprise me if he jumped into that 100. But Georgia's pushing for a flip. I think they're in a really good position to do so. So I do think this is a young man who's probably coming off the board or making that flip, so to speak, at some point this month. Mid-July. All right, we're going to talk mid-July now. Travis Smith Jr. That is a big deal, okay? Big deal. This is a guy that Georgia, James Coley, the offensive staff, has pushed for a while. He's a wide receiver, if I haven't said that. But if you're familiar with my work, if you've been on Dog Post, like you should be, because the Dog Post members, they know all about this, right? They have for days now. But Travis Smith Jr. is a big-time wide receiver, 6'4", 200 pounds, plays the ball like A.J. Green in a way. He can go up and snag the football, big catch radius, one of the top receivers not only across the South, but across the country. I think he's a top 15 prospect, maybe a top 12, I say prospect, wide receiver, right? But the country's loaded with good ones. Travis Smith is one of them. They already have 4 commitments at wide receiver. I think they would like to take a 5th, but that's going to go to either C.J. Wiley, who they're going to try to flip from Florida State, or Travis Smith Jr. He took his official visit to Georgia early. It was the first one, May 31st. Heard a lot of buzz about that. Some people thought he may be a silent commitment, but I felt Georgia's chances were very good with him all throughout the fall, the winter, the spring, heading into these officials. But there's been a little less buzz, right? After he took an official visit to Auburn and Alabama and Tennessee, starting to hear less and less buzz. And I'm telling you what, I mean, right now, right? The negative recruiting that these other schools are doing against Georgia for these wide receivers, they have to, right? They're telling these guys, hey, you're interested in Georgia, but you're not going to get enough passes thrown your way. You're not going to get the yards that maybe some of our receivers are going to get. You're not going to get those touchdowns. You may not play early. So, I mean, it is what it is, right? They're not technically wrong, but Alabama, Kalen DeBoer is telling them, hey, we need receivers. I'm trying to build my offense. We can get you the ball way more than Georgia can. Auburn's the same way. Auburn is using NIL as well as anyone. They are throwing funds out there. They are trying to get weapons. So they're in his ear. Tennessee, they've got some receivers, right? They have pushed some out recently. They do a good job of developing their receivers up there. So they're also telling Travis Smith Jr., hey, why are you going to Georgia? We can come here, catch a ton of passes, get a ton of yards. We're going to develop you too. You might win a national championship at Georgia, but maybe you win one here, right? If that's Alabama talking to him. But either way, it is not a slam dunk to Georgia. I'm not ruling Georgia out of this, but they've got to keep pushing hard and show him that they can get him the football as much as he may want it, right? But long way to go, because Georgia's going to push for him and try to flip him if they don't land him on July 13th. But that's going to be a big one coming off the board. I'll continue to work the phones there, see what I can come up with over the next 2 weeks. July 20th, Georgia's got 2 guys coming off the board. 4-star Cortez Smith at a Parkview guard center type. I've always liked where Georgia has sat with him. Fundamentally sound. He moves well. Could be another center type for him, but definitely got to keep an eye on an in-state lineman out of Parkview High School. Great kid, hard-working kid. He's a 4-star. He took his official visit to Georgia the weekend of June 21st, and he'll come off the board July 20th. As will Bryce Davis, another big-time edge defender. They've already got 2 edge defenders on board right now. Isaiah Gibson, the 5-star. Darren Ikanagbin. Ikanagbin. Got to make sure I say that one right. I've been working on that one. Ikanagbin. Yeah, they're both dogs. Those are 2 really good edge defenders. Bryce Davis is another one from North Carolina. He's told me in the past, he goes, I was hurt for most of the year last year, but Georgia stayed on me. And if this comes down to Georgia, Clemson, Duke, I like where Georgia sits. He's the number 8 edge defender in the country, number 62 overall. If they land Bryce Davis with Isaiah Gibson and Darren Ikanagbin, that's as good as you could ask for on the edge, right? So that's definitely a guy that Georgia fans need to keep an eye on. Lagonza Hayward, kind of a do-it-all athlete, one of the best 3-way players in the state of Georgia, in my opinion. Wide receiver, safety, return man. He's a small-town kid who makes a lot of plays. He's built well. I thought I had his height and weight here. Okay, 6'1", 190. But I'll tell you, he doesn't look 190. He's got muscles all over the place, man. That guy does not miss a workout. He is physically put together, and he can make a play on the ball. He had 48 tackles defensively, 3 interceptions, but on offense, he caught 26 passes for 727 yards. So when he catches the ball, good things are happening. He's picking up a lot of yards, 7 touchdowns, can make big-time plays in the return game. Tennessee was the team linked with him for the longest time, but Georgia's absolutely in it. I think they blew him away on his official visit. But we'll see what happens. This could come down to Georgia, Tennessee, and Florida. I think he could play earlier at Florida and Tennessee compared to Georgia, but he's coming off the board July 27th, so that's a name to keep an eye on. I think Georgia would welcome him with open arms. I think they should. He's a really good player from their own state. Definitely got to keep an eye on. He's the number 12 safety prospect, the number 111 overall prospect in the country. Now, there are 2 other guys that Georgia's in the mix for, but I'm going to push all over to Dog Post to read that. One of them's an out-of-state guy. I don't think they land, but we'll see. They're in the mix. And another is a linebacker who's coming off the board. I believe July 20th. George is in his top 3. I'll have more on him over on Dog Post. And then there's a big-time offensive line target that's coming off the board August 2nd that you need to know. I've talked about him before. I like George's chances, so I expect them to land several of these guys that I've talked about in July and then kick off August possibly in a big way as well. So thanks for watching this video. Hope you learned something. Get your Bulldog today. Look at this bad boy. Get him. Get him. Your family's going to love it. Get him for yourself, your own family, your friend, family member. The biggest Georgia fan you know is going to love this bad boy. All the information is in the description below in this video. So when you order, make sure you hit promo code DAWGPOST, okay? Help your boy out, DAWGPOST. Don't miss out on the discount. And check it. It's in the description below. Check it out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next video.